ERC, quality service since 1972. Repairing TVs, console stereos, electronic musical instruments, pinball machines, arcade games, and more. Call 836-0454.
This is James Spann, and you're watching the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Wednesday morning, the 19th day of November, and boy, it's cold out there this morning. Temperatures are in the upper teens in some of the colder valleys. Everybody else down in the 20s. More like January here instead of November. Let's look at the Skycam images around the network this morning. Crystal clear and bone-chilling cold. That's our view from downtown Jasper. Nobody wants to get out there at this early hour of the day. The camera up there showing, the Skycam up there showing 23 in downtown Jasper. Tuscaloosa looking back off to the east from the top of the Tuscaloosa County Courthouse. Readings there in the mid-20s, and up in Cullman, they're down in the low 20s. That's the view there from the water treatment facility on US 278 east of downtown. The big trough is beginning to shift off to the east a little bit. We've got a northwest flow aloft, but that thing will be sharpening up again, and we'll have another surge of cold air by Friday. But let's look at the numbers this morning. That red line is the freezing line, and note that thing is well down into Florida. Looks like Lake City, Florida, but which is kind of between Tallahassee and Jacksonville, has got 29, got 30s down there into Orlando, and even 40s almost all the way down to Miami. And, of course, all of Alabama in the 20s, and you don't see those colder valleys reported here, but they are in the upper teens this morning. And look at Canada. Goodness gracious. Readings up there below zero over northern Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and again, the cold air will just keep on coming. We'll get that next shot by Friday. And, of course, when the air comes from that direction, it's awfully dry. So, once again, no rain through the weekend. This is valid through Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. This is the 06E GFS at noon today. Northwest flow aloft. Down below that will be a beautiful, bright, sunny day today. And I do think we get up in the 50s today. The thickness values are higher. Tomorrow, we note that new surge of cold air coming down the pike, knocking on the door, but again, it looks like highs should be in the 50s tomorrow, but on Friday, more cold air advection. Again, windy, chilly, highs only in the upper 40s on Friday, much like the day we had yesterday. And then Saturday, starting off the weekend, we note that vortex around St. Louis, but that just won't do anything because the air is dry. Now, down below that, Saturday's going to be a dry and cold day. We should be in the 20s. Saturday morning as we start the weekend, the high Saturday afternoon, probably low 50s, and then Sunday, mid-50s would seem likely after starting the day near freezing. So, again, cool days, cold nights. That's the story through the weekend. Now, next week, Thanksgiving week. Let's go through the week. This is Monday, the 24th. We stay dry, but there's a cold front to the northwest, and it's actually expected to rain there at Little Rock and Memphis and Indianapolis, and more than likely that will be coming through here Monday night. So we will mention the chance of a shower Monday night. Will it be a big rain event? Probably not, because the air is so dry. And then Tuesday of next week, once again, the eastern trough wants to rebuild, and down below that, that pushes the cold front way down to the south, and cooler air begins to flow in. So Tuesday will be a day probably with a clearing sky, breezy and rather chilly. And Wednesday of next week, the day before Thanksgiving, and many say this is the busiest travel day of the year. If you're traveling, there's your map. Very cold over the northeast, maybe some lake effect snows going on around Buffalo and Erie. But other than that, nothing major around the nation. No major airport problems there, and that looks like a cool and dry day for Alabama. And Thanksgiving Day, again, for This Is Right, the weather here would be rather uneventful, dry and cold in the morning, cool during the day, much like the weather we've seen lately. The big shopping day, the 28th, we got a shortwave approaching, and let's see what's happening here with that. Looks like a big rain mass about to move in here. So, again, there's some decent consistency in the idea of a rain event around that day, Friday the 28th. And then for Saturday the 29th, that storm moves on. Colder air begins to move in. The rain begins to taper off. That's the day for the Iron Bowl. That's actually suggesting some rain could linger that day. But, again, this is all voodoo country. We know that. We're just kind of looking for trends. We'll go deeper into the model run. This is the 1st of December, and, man, that looks cold. Good grief. For the eastern part of the United States. Big ridge out west, trough over the east. Cold air and that little impulse riding through the Gulf. Oh, boy. As the cold air gets deeper, you have to wonder if we're going to flirt with a chance of snow at some point. And look at the 2nd of December. Very cold trough. Strong vortex coming to the base of that thing. The 540 line down to the Gulf Coast. If that's right, we wouldn't get out of the 20s with snow flurries. Goodness gracious. And on the 4th, again, cold, a very cold vortex parked over Canada. And look at the shortwave back over the Southwest U.S. and some type of rain developing over Texas. That sure looks like, if this is right, that sure looks like a very interesting pattern setting up for the month of December. Are you dreaming of a white Christmas? Well, we've never had one here in, 130 years of weather records, but maybe we'll have a chance this year. There's always a chance. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video today. We'll have notes on the blog. The next video here by 3:30 or so today. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 5, 6, and 10. Again, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.
Weather.